welcome back to F1 Manager 24, where I'm still fighting the systems in 2027 because it's got out of hand. I'm not going to bore you with details on this one, just know that I'm continually monitoring in the background and continually adjusting where necessary to prevent teams from making insane leaps that are unrealistic and just keeping the field within range of each other as best as I can. I have deployed the design center situation. You can see there on R1, we're refurbishing it currently. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do an actual upgrade on it, but if we go to rank 4 on that, we'll still have a project capacity of 4, but we'll get 5 more engineers. If I was to take it to 5, I would lose capacity for 2 projects. So I'm not going to take it to 5 because that's the way I've done it. I've given every single AI team a level 5 design center and made sure that design center has 2 projects available to it, because that's where the problem lies. It's the continual and constant AI designs. They don't stop. As soon as they finish one, they start designing a new one immediately because they have no budget limits. They don't care, they go into debt, and they have no cost cap. I genuinely do not know why Frontier have designed the game in this manner. I presume it was just easier than giving them those for whatever reason. If somehow Frontier could actually impose budget limits and cost cap limits on the AI, I think this problem would solve itself. But just to keep you up to speed on this one, you can see how we've designed to basically the best of our budget ability, having taken some emergency hits on parts to develop them in time just so we're not awful in certain races so far this season. Spec 2, Spec 2, Spec 2 on 4 things, Spec 3 on 2 things, that's what we've just recently done. Some AI have Spec 6. Just to put this into perspective, some AI have Spec 6. So, in fact, I think most of them have a Spec 6 on something. Even Williams, who are the worst one and have the least money, obviously, in reality. So, yeah, it's a problem. If you see our ranking things change a little bit weirdly, if we go up and down a little bit weirdly, then just know that's why. I'm constantly monitoring the background, just making sure there's no huge upsets. I don't mind like a team towards the back making a big jump and sort of putting themselves into the front pack, like McLaren did in real life, you know, a couple of years ago. I don't mind them doing that. It's kind of more the front ones just ending up about 15 points ahead of everyone else. Then it becomes a problem because that keeps happening. And obviously, in comparison to me, they all do that as well every single time, basically every single weekend. But now this design center thing has been implemented and they can only make 2 things at a time. That should, in theory, cut their entire progress in half, because all the AI teams are developing 3 or 4 things at a time at any given point. So whilst they will still continuously produce things, they won't stop. They will only be doing half as many. So fingers crossed. Like, logically, that should cut their entire development in half, which is what putting it on easy should have done, but didn't. So I'm hoping the combination of having it on easy and that solves the problem for now until Frontier, if they even bother at this point, I don't know. Side note, I'm just genuinely worried about Frontier as a whole. There's rumours that the next game was cancelled for this anyway. It's pretty obvious to most people that they've obviously rushed Planet Coaster 2 out, which is a shame because I wanted to like it, and it's better in a lot of ways. There's just too many things that are frustrating, and frustrating in a similar manner to the way a lot of things happen in here, where they make an improvement but don't realise that improvement has affected something else and broken it, which is what's happened here, because the improvement was these. This was the improvement they made, which then broke AI development, I think, anyway. But it's happened with multiple things. I'll give you the example. We've done it before. The sponsorship at the start of the year, plunging people into debt for basically 2 days. The way they fixed that in a recent patch was by making the engine payment monthly, instead of just putting the sponsorship back in the start of the season thing, where it used to be. If they just put the first sponsorship plan back in that change of season thing where you buy your engine, then you'd get that money in when that money comes out and everything would be fine. But for some reason they decided to fix it in a completely different way, which technically works, but is probably less efficient in the long term because it actually didn't work straight away either. I'll probably also, by the way, I know he's 27. It just reminded me, I'll probably also do pass on development rates at some point because they're still a problem. They're still dropping them way too quickly as well. So I'll probably do a pass on development rates, making sure that the kind of 27 to 30-year-olds are still got good development rates and aren't declining way ahead of schedule. Like, Zane's fine, he's still 23, he's still got high development. Drivers like Lando should probably be on average at 27, actually, in terms of development rate, but just making sure he's kind of not at the bottom end of that and declining soon, because that's what's been happening. Like, I can't see what Max's development rate because I haven't scouted him is, but he's 29. If he has low development at this point, that could be a problem. For instance, people like him, he's on 93, he should be all right. Charles Leclerc's still at 89, so I think the previous bump I gave to a lot of these drivers are holding okay, but they did have a previous bump. Anywho, we've got to get through Monaco and Barcelona, and then we'll do the live race with Spielberg, which is where the front ring, rear ring comes in. Just a heads up, we are technically better than we were at Canada with my recent pass of making sure everyone was, reined in again. We are technically better as a car overall, which is probably where we should be in theory. I didn't do anything for Canada in terms of checks, which means we massively outperformed the car with the way that race panned out. If we'd actually probably been where we should have been, and I'd done this pass of car problem, reining everyone in again, I only reined the front runners in for that one, I think. If I'd reined everyone else in and brought them down to kind of a respectable improvement level, rather than just letting them all have their jumps, we could have possibly done better. But I think considering the cars we were up against in that were the front runners anyway, but we definitely massively outperformed that car. But realistically, the one thing we're really good at right now is high speed, and that's not what Monaco is. I think whilst we are technically slightly higher up in the rankings than we should be compared to last race, it's not going to matter here. Yeah, I mean, that proves it. Performance for this particular racetrack is 18th, whilst our current overall is 9th. You might recall it, I think it was like 13th, 14th at Calendar, but that was only because I only brought the front two back down. Okay, so simulating qualifying. Still annoys me you don't find out what the results are before. Lando had a good one. Piastri, Max in second. Oh, actually, Hamilton's there as well, so Ferrari done okay. Just they've not really been up there recently. It did surprise me. Carlos Sainz and Antonelli up there. Porsche had a Leclerc at his home race. Interesting. Liam Lawson also makes the top 10. And Valtteri Bottas sneaks in for Aston Martin. Zane 15th. He did not have a good one. Dennis Hauger has a penalty for some reason, which takes him to the back. Apparently two-stop. It always annoys me that two-stop is faster at Monaco, and I don't know why. But it's notably faster, and we'll simulate this as well. Off we go. Feels weird not to do Monaco, but it can be a bit boring. I need to fix the helmet as well, by the way. Fixed all the other colours. Third from fifth. I'll take it. Top two remained the same by the looks of things. Oscar and Max. So Carlos slips one. Teo Porsche has vanished entirely. Pierre Gasly up 6. Sergio Perez up 8. Lewis had a good race for a change as well. Porsche out immediately, I assume. Come the fact he doesn't even have a best lap. Oh, Lando got fastest lap as well. Probably because he was doing that strategy. But yeah, Teo Porsche hasn't even registered a lap here. It might be by my head. I might have to remove my face for this. But yeah, so I think Porsche was out immediately. Lawson, Tsunoda did at least complete a lap, but they got removed at some point later on. Charles Leclerc's dropped to the very back, 3 laps down. I wonder if they tangled. Oh, Zane dropped 2 places as well, to 17th. Good job. Good job. The race rewards, I think, was 17th minimum, so got away with one there, I think. I do wonder if Zane's tangled with someone. George Russell's on the back as well. They were in the same part of the field. Charles Leclerc would have been in roughly the same ballpark as Liam Lawson, actually, I think he was near. So Porsche's out immediately. He possibly collided with someone, but Lawson and Charles Leclerc, I imagine, might have had an incident. Yuki Tsunoda and Zane and or George might have had an incident. But Max goes up 4 places thanks to that second place. We were remaining third, but we're a little bit behind. I'm just trying to keep an eye on pit stops as well. So people obviously had enough time for pit stops here. Charles Leclerc notably had one. George had one too. Still leading that at least. Weird race for Zane. It's weird they're largely disappointed with recent race results. Considering Lando has been third. Not enough time to drop us down the standings here either, so that's good. Oh, we're off bad now. At least Lando's up to okay. I think Zane's gone from good to great here as well. So we have slipped down 1 ranking, which is kind of okay for one weekend. One team could have brought an upgrade package for Spain. Because that's the thing, obviously in reality, teams kind of bring an upgrade package typically every quarter of a season at best. So you kind of expect to maybe drop down 1 position most weekends, or maybe a couple of positions on one specific weekend. But then you have the time to claw that back. Qualifying time for Spain. Audi have joined the party, 5th and 10th. Hamilton beats Verstappen as well at this particular track. That might be the first time. Zane 15th. Why Zane 15th? We're actually meant to be good here. 2 very different strategies here. Just because I think Lando got soft tyres used in qualifying. That's Zane Maloney. So Zane gets points and no Lando podium, I presume. 5th and 6th. They joined each other behind each other there. Lando up 2 though still. Drogovic got 8 places for 4th. 1-2 for Red Bull though as we head to Austria. Logan Sargent actually goes for 3 points for Audi and gets 6 points total. But Pierre drops and only gets 1 point. Porsche doesn't have a good one. Neither does Charles Leclerc. Both Ferraris out. I wonder what happened there. Yeah, Charles Leclerc down 5 to 11th. Okay, good points. We do outscore McLaren. which is effectively our chance of getting second here. Red Bull are running away with it, but we are basically fighting McLaren this season for second, just so we don't lose our job. Do get the fastest pit stop, but only one of two, weirdly. Maintain our hold on that. Because Lando had an issue, which probably actually prevented him going any better. I'll take 5th and 6th in a track where we were predicted 6th. And Lando's up to 90 again. Welcome back to 90, Lando. Right, so what have we lost here? It's front and rearing, isn't it? So I'll get building on 2 sets of those apiece. And just to make sure we've got the stock. So rear wing and front wing comes in tomorrow. We're still building chassis. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, and as braking improves. So the problem here is we can only get... So the chassis completes in 5 days total. So I'm going to build 2 front wings and then 2 rear wings. We've got 10 days. I think we'll be okay. Actually, I might prioritise pit stop errors. Why are we really good at jacks and nothing else? So I'm actually doing something a little bit different with the design in the second half of this ATR window. This roughly finishes around about the same time, I think. So suspension, I could get a good jump out of. There was a good jump in tyre preservation, which is its main. Side pods, however, didn't really get a benefit. It was only like 3% on the highest thing that it gained, whereas suspension I can get 18% tyre preservation out of. So I'm actually going to wait for the next ATR period and then actually put... I think I might just end up putting all of the hours into that one side pod so we get a big jump on our 3rd spec side pod. And then we'll continue with research in the second half of each ATR period from here on in. Because there's a big rule change for next year as well. The main kicker here, because we had a problem with the front wing, really, it wasn't as optimal as it should have been, like the side pod situation we have currently right now. The main kicker here is DRS effectiveness and a decent amount of top speed and medium speed with this new rear wing, which ultimately, for Austria, puts us first, because high-speed cornering, DRS are our 2 big strengths. Overall is 3rd-ish. So we've jumped from lower mid, so we've jumped from lower top 10 to high top 10, back to where we should be, realistically, and it's taken us almost half a season to get there. From now on, we should realistically, I mean, it's very volatile, of course, depending on which track we're at. Hungary 9th, Britain back to 1st. We've had quite a lot of the tracks we seem to be quite good at, and then a lot of them we're quite bad at. So ones where we got high speed, we tend to be first in because we're so far ahead in that. And we were at the start of the season, and we've only added to that since. So we have very much spec'd our car to be a high-speed car. So, of course, high DRS track, moderate rain race. Still qualifying. I'm actually going to give them 3rd engine and gearbox and the other ERS to start with here, because if we can't use our DRS for the majority of the race, moderate rain's probably partial rain race. If we can't use the DRS for the majority of the race, then we're going to have to rely on an ERS specifically and engine power. So we'll give them their best chance. And we do manage this particular qualifying session. I don't think we have any issues with rain now, so... Norris had a moment there and has damaged the underfloor. I'm hoping that's not going to cost him in Q1. Realistically, probably shouldn't, but I think we might be okay. But it depends on whether the track rubbering up is... Oh, Verstappen's gone 8th when Hamilton's 19th. Actually, I am marginally concerned here. Who's on a flyer right now? Tsunoda, Fittipaldi, Drogovic, Albon... Oh, is Albon just finished? Is Albon just finishing or starting a lap? Because Fittipaldi's the next one to actually cross the line. Otherwise... Albon's just finishing a lap, so actually we'll be able to see something right now. He hasn't improved. We've got enough time to let Fittipaldi finish his lap before we make a move here. Fittipaldi doesn't improve either. So that's 2 guaranteed slower at this point already. Hamilton's actually on in-lap. Leclerc's on an in-lap. Perez is on a lap. They might not have actually done a lap. They might not actually be out on track. Yeah, I don't actually see Leclerc. I think we might be okay here. Unless I see Perez and Leclerc come out, I think we're going to be okay. Oh, Perez has just gone out. Drogovic has gone ahead. Or Cher's just come out. I'm going to risk it. We're only 11th, but I'm going to risk it. Oh, we're fine. Hamilton in the bottom 6 again. Both Mercedes, they are terrible. And of course we'll be able to fix his underfloor now. It's a real good lap for Norris on used tyres, just shy of Antonelli. Maloney's a bit more off, but genuinely, I don't know if I should need to run them again. Especially as Drogovic and Bottas are clearly run into each other or something stupid. Fittipaldi and Perez should go out here. Drogovic and Bottas with broken vehicles should go out here. Maloney definitely needs to run again. And I'm just concerned that everyone else did a lap on fresh tyres. Sorry, everyone did a lap on used tyres and now has fresh tyres. It also could end up in either a really good or really bad situation here. Maloney has ended up in a terrible situation. He is racing... actually, that's a really good situation because it probably means Lawson ends up behind. Yeah, this is a terrible situation, all things considered, because if Leclerc and Tsunoda improve, then Maloney's out. but it will at the very least keep Lawson behind. Norris is improving. I mean, the one silver lining here is our prediction in terms of overall car potential might be on the money here. Norris improves by a sliver and gets up to third. Maloney improves. He does not. Lawson improves, goes ahead of Maloney. Maloney somehow doesn't actually improve despite being inside Lawson the entire time and doesn't do the same lap time as him. Please explain to me how he's not done the same lap time as Lawson. He'd have been out anyway because Tsunoda and Leclerc did it anyway. Crazy, crazy. Why is no one coming out? I thought I'd just wait for the first ones to come out, because then I could just overtake them. And it limits my potential of getting stuck on them, but... Oof, traffic. 101 flat, though. I don't know how that measures up. It's front row right now. Gasly's gone for a second fly lap, really early compared to everyone else. I probably should have sent Norris a little bit quicker there. Or we can have a red flag and we can qualify second. Cheers, Gasly. I don't know if we would have improved on fresh tyres. We rarely do. It was Oscar's best lap as well. Ooh, interesting. So the question here is, what is this rain? It's in the second half. Right, that's annoying. It might actually dry up. Ooh, it might actually dry up at the end. I have no idea if that's going to be worth swapping onto decent tyres or not, but it's never wet though. So we need a tyre that can do 28 laps. Yeah, 28, 30 laps, which is a medium. So those soft tyres are a bit useless. Honestly, I think they've got the right strategy here. I'll go 4 laps out of 7 potential just because of the natural rain at the end. Go one more than I would do normally. So we need to make the most of that first stint as well, because that's the time when we will have DRS and... Oh, well, we'll have DRS, basically.
Final checks are being carried out by the teams, and it won't be long until we get this race underway. And for Lando Norris, this is another chance to see what he can do in this car.
They're in second place on the grid, but that could so easily change in the first few seconds after lights out.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. It's the race we've all been waiting for. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So it's a return to seeing Piastri and Norris on the front row at a Grand Prix. Although he has gone on a hard tyre, which will definitely get to the rain. Lando a minor casualty at that first corner, but I think a Red Bull lost out more. Antonelli it was, with the 2 hard runners. And now Lando gets shoved out of the way by Teo Pourchaire as well. Not great going. First lap, Lando's back. Good job, we've got a good DRS, isn't it? Now, my one concern here is we don't have a lot of wiggle room in terms of tyres at the end, so we can't push them too hard at the start. Verstappen started 5th, did he? Oh, probably 6th, actually. Antonelli was probably ahead of him. Oh, that's a camera angle. Ow, my eyes. So now DRS is a thing. Now DRS is a thing. I imagine these front 4 will pull away from Verstappen, even though he's got DRS himself. There we are. That second is immediately there. No, we have Antonelli behind because he's actually overtaken him. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, bear in mind, it's not our top speed that's good. It's our high-speed cornering that's good. Although our top speed is okay, I think, now. But our DRS is excellent. Well, Sargent's had a mare there. Surprised that's not more. All right, well, I'll have to take the tyres off now. So what actually happened here? P8, sorry. Oh, of course, yeah, because Sargent's part of that. So we just saw the back end of that, I think. Oh, no. That was just Sparks. Ah, Max. Oh, dear, Max. Not fun when you're the one being crashed into, is it? A little bit of taste of his own medicine there. Okay, so Maloney's up to 7th. That's good points. I think Norris is definitely going to get... In fact, he's already past Pourchaire by the time he gets to the first corner. Lovely. Doesn't even have to do a weird move to keep it. Sargent gets 5 seconds for that, of course. But now, of course, the problem here is we have actually dropped off Sainz and Piastri. Kind of needed to hold into their DRS, if we're honest. Kind of hoping that going backwards and forwards pushes us into DRS range of Sainz and Piastri. It has indeed. Great news for us there. So we're back in the fight for the first. Is Sargent totally broken, by the way? Has he lost rear wing or something? Or is it just... No, it doesn't actually have a damage button. 33 seconds down because he hurt himself at the start of a lap and had to drag himself around, I guess. Maloney gets Drogovic. Ah, right. There is a gap between Lawson and Leclerc and Maloney and Drogovic. I see. Right, okay. That's more of a problem. So now, Lando, hold on firm with these front 2. Pourchaire might end up getting dragged along, though he might fall out of a second. Nope, he's going to end up dragged along here. And that's the medium tyres coming to the 4 now. But they'll have a bit of back and forth, I think. Because bear in mind, those hard runners probably have a little bit of spare tyre to burn. Ooh, bad driving there from Lando, actually. He's given them the DRS and ended up behind by the corner. So in theory, we should know... Oh, there we are. That's the one we're waiting for. Because in theory, we should home in on Oscar because of the tyre differential. Opts to not make the move this time round. It's lap 8. Hamilton's dropped to the very back, and I don't really know why. Even Verstappen's got ahead of him. Hard tyres, but I can't imagine that's the entire story. He has worse hard tyres than everyone, so I don't know if he had a moment anywhere and I just missed it. Not a good race for the Ferraris, who seem to be... Well, right now they're acting like backmarkers with the Williamses. And the Mercedes haven't really pulled themselves out of that hole either. Yes, you can, Lando. I believe in you. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. We've got best-in-class DRS, mate. I mean, you're not going to do it by doing that, though, in fairness. Round the outside, round the outside. Don't know if you can pull a second out. We'll watch that again, though, as Norris gets his old teammate, who's still there, of course, in the McLaren. Round the outside he goes. Table share has got Carlos Sainz. It appears to only have one overtaking line, does Lando? So if you're getting annoyed by Zay Maloney's "How do you like that?" then brace yourself. I don't think we can separate from Moscow, though, unfortunately. Even though we're on a better tyre, we're going to get compromised, and I don't think we have the DRS here. We just need to push Teo off, and that'll do the job. Weirdly, the yellow flag was actually for Sargent running, right? So we seem to be stuck in a back and forth here. As actually, Zane, I hadn't noticed this, Zane has caught Leclerc and Lawson. Antonelli's brought himself back up through the field, back up to 8th as well in the meantime. So we're in 2 fights now with a Haas and... Well, mind you, Porsche. No, Porsche is there. We're in 2 fights now with a Haas and a McLaren. And I imagine Antonelli will be making moves shortly. I know he's lost fighting Djokovic still. So now he's actually passed Lawson there. Tucks in behind Leclerc, who's on a hard tyre. Just to have the speed to drop them. I say we keep losing one of them. We lost Sainz earlier, but then he drew himself back into it. Now we've lost Piastri out of DRS, but because they have DRS as well, and we end up fighting, obviously, occasionally as well, they end up back in DRS. And that was a terrible defense from Lando, who got overtaken and gave them DRS. Oh, I think Lando just got shoved off the track there, because he did lose a lot of time to Sainz. Briefly for 1 lap and 1 lap only. I think that's the only way we're actually going to drop them, is if we do the overtake and shove them off at the same time. So, rain-wise, are we coming earlier or later? It's later. No, it's earlier. It is earlier. Which means it's going to be drier at the end. Those soft tyres we have, the one full set we have, will come in handy. So, right move to be on the medium then, because we are going to have to come off these earlier. Of course, actually, the differential will be going towards the hard tyres' favour now. Yellow flag. Russell now having a mare. He's lost half a front wing minimum. I mean, this is a hell of a... No, okay, it's not with there then. Someone on his inside? Oh, it's his teammate. Yeah, that's not a... Ideal? Oh no, it's Russell and Hamilton on track next to each other. Bless. Reunited again. I've not done any fuel recovery because I'm just waiting for the rain, really. It's definitely not going to be a lap. So it's come later than the weather prediction here, but it's come earlier than the original. Just gauging... No one's coming in yet. Just gauging... Wait, what's happened to Lando? Why is Lando so far off? I've missed an off here. Why is Lando 4th? And, like, notably 4th. Feels like it's coming down just hard enough, if I'm honest here. Both drivers are far enough apart, we can go on to intermediate separately. I just feel like by the time we do a full lap, Magnussen's come in, Pourchaire's come in, so the trigger was clearly around Magnussen-Pourchaire. Sainz has got an issue, this is good. Do you know what the problem might have been? Although Pourchaire and Leclerc came in, because I think Sainz and Piastri are both regarded as second drivers in their team still. Good pit stops. I don't think we're going to get a benefit against Piastri and Sainz here. I do not think we're going to get a benefit against Piastri and Sainz. I don't think they're going to be driving on this track anywhere near long enough in the wet. But it's going to get close, and they're going to have to get their tyres up to temperature. I'm trying to keep an eye on that gap between Sainz and Pourchaire. It didn't really come down. But I imagine Lando's quite adaptable, and Pourchaire, I imagine, isn't. As Piastri had an issue, no, he is going. I don't think he's even going to be close as one of the Mercedes unlaps himself. Well, he's on the tail of Leclerc. Okay, I'm just going to drag him away. Sainz's fault gets worse. I'm just going to harvest with Norris for a couple of laps, just to get him some ERS to fight Pourchaire, who he is clearly capable of catching. We can definitely go aggressive on these intermediates occasionally. We just need to let them cool down every now and then. Antonelli's actually come through. Maybe Antonelli's like weirdly really adaptable. Okay, we're now pushing and Lando's losing time hand over fist. What? Pourchaire's definitely pushing here. I think we might be okay on fuel. Sainz has a terminal issue. Sainz is out. So now Pourchaire stopped pushing. Lando is homing in, and we're about to hit a batch of traffic. So we could easily get well within range here. Yellow flag, someone's at a moment. Bottas. Just a spin, I think. Make sure you slow down Lando in the yellows. We've been there before. Yeah, I think we're actually getting fuel back at a normal rate in this rain, so we might be okay. We might need a bit of deliberate recovery later on. I think someone's had a spin there as well. Go on, Lando. Yes, Lando. That's second. Now let's hunt. Tyres are back down to temperature as well. So get Porsche out. I mean, and there's no DRS, but it's just nice to be outside of a second because it kind of just makes the AI less aggressive, makes them less like they think they can probably fight. Bottas there wasn't great at getting out of the way, but I guess he's got a reasonable car despite the damage. Close the gap to Piastri to 2 and a bit seconds. Lando's not out of this. Gap to Piastri's under 2 seconds. We've got 20 laps to go. We're doing all right in our tyres. How are they doing? Exactly the same. Antonelli did get through Maloney at some point. I didn't even notice that, but yeah, that's okay. It's 5 seconds back to Porsche, so I'm just going to go off ERS battle for a second. Go on a bit of recovery. Somehow we've immediately lost a second and a half there. What on earth just happened there? Did Piastri just push for a lap or something? I had no idea. I mean, I know we went on harvest, but we shouldn't have lost a second and a half immediately. No, we didn't even actually do it for a full lap in the end. Ooh, actually, I might just need... Don't think we're quite getting that back. We've only got 11 laps left. Fittipaldi's fault takes him out. Maloney's back past Antonelli. I didn't even see it. And there's a late safety car. Oh, there's a late safety car. There's a late safety car. And guess what's about to happen? All right, what's caused this? Vesti's out. He's involved. He's not his teammate again, has he? It's a mechanical fault. Has he just broken down on track? This is just a terminal failure in a dangerous spot. Great. I mean, that was helpful. People are pitting. Oh, yeah, he's broken down there, which is obviously really dangerous. All of a sudden, this is back on again. The 10 seconds to Porsche is annoying, because that's going to disappear. I presume Piastri's going to come in as well. Yes, he has. But brand new soft tyres for about 4 laps, maybe? I don't know why that voice line sounded like his name was Lando Pitlane. It's like it belongs in the Cars universe. Good pit stop, we'll take. I presume everyone else has gone on a soft here. They have. Well, this makes things interesting for a few laps. But it gets out nice and cleanly. There's a car in between. There are lap cars that are going to have to be dealt with. But Maloney was already ahead of Antonelli again, so they've not regained him in the pits there. We both had a completely fresh soft. I don't know if Piastri did. Oh, he did. That's annoying. All right, so we're going to have to wait for everyone to get caught up here. There's people on the opposite side of the track still. I think we're going to only get about 3 or 4 at best racing laps. So lap cars can overtake. Lap cars can overtake. Come on. What is going on? Why are the lap cars not going? There we go. Finally. Sargent's through. Oh, no. Russell's through. We're going to get 2 racing laps. I don't know why they've taken so long. All right, so the good news is, despite they're only going to get 2 actual racing laps, they are going to be the 2 raciest laps of all time. I don't know why it took so long. I don't know why they did 2 laps before they let the back markers go. Both our vehicles are hanging on the previous one. But we've got enough ERS to do 2 full laps because we put the brand new ERSs in, so that's worked out. And these are 2 maximum racing laps. This is a good chance to claim a win. It's also a good chance to get absolutely mugged off. We won't get DRS to the second one, of course, so this could be a problem. I kind of almost want them to stay behind for lap 1. Yes, good work, Lando. Stay behind. In fact, I might actually just hold off a little bit. Oh, no, actually, no. You've got more places to go, haven't you? You keep deploying. Lando, you make sure you've got full battery here. Go for it, mate. Piastri does fastest lap. That's slightly irritating. But we'll have DRS. And if Lando does this right, which isn't always possible, but if Lando does this right, stays behind by the detection point, even if he makes the overtake, which he hasn't done, he'll have the DRS here. And this one means more because there's no DRS remaining. There's been an issue at the back. Please don't flag this race. Come on, boy. Come on! I don't know why I called him boy. Porsche spun! Sorry, I didn't even realise what the yellow flag was for. Oh, what a crippling mistake. Oh, what a time to do that. That's dangerous. Oh, no, he's thrown away a podium. Oh, I feel really sorry for Teo, but welcome, Maloney, to 3rd. And crucially, Maloney's still ahead of Antonelli as well. And all of that, I forgot to watch the replay of Norris overtaking. We don't have to worry about fuel or anything, so that's all good. Norris will probably do fastest lap here as well. He does. I think he's kept it. I'm not seeing a... But what a win. That's going to be 26 points plus 15 for Maloney. That's 41 points for our team, which is huge because Lawson's 6th as well. Not a great haul for McLaren here. And obviously it's a terrible haul for Red Bull, who are still really running away from it. We're not even going to see Lando's victory here because Maloney's on the podium. Slightly annoying. But actually, it wouldn't have mattered either way because... No, Porsche gets podiums, doesn't he? We've already won a race, Crofty. It's also weirdly, I think, the race in which McLaren became race-winning capable this year as well, isn't it? It was Austria. Because they should have done all right in Spain. But actually, they're terrible pit stops. I think Lando was about 2 seconds off. I can't remember which way round the races were this year, but Lando was about 2 seconds off Max in Spain, and their pit stops were 2 seconds worse. So, or 1 second worse, at least. Actually, no, it's Hungary next. But Zayn up 8 places to 3rd is really, really good there. And it takes Zayn up to 5th in the championship. Lando still himself 4th. We don't get anywhere, but we do go forwards. And crucially as well, the board was here for this particular race. 4 very solid pit stops by the standards currently. Lando did definitely not DNF there. So what have we lost there? We lost another suspension. That's okay. We built board attendance ×2. Do we get... What a time to do that, by the way. Happy with Barcelona, which is weird because that was 5th and 6th. And delighted at Spielberg because we won it. See, I was slightly worried by this because we were losing ones we were delighted at the end of the last year. I think it's been mostly Maloney's outside the points. Abby Pulley wins another F3, but I think it was mostly the ones where Maloney was outside of the range, outside of the top 10, where we were getting those disappointers from. Carpentier as well, actually, in F2. I think we still get to see these. So, Bogdanovic was 4th. Barnard got a 7th at wherever that was. It says Spain, but it won't have been Spain. Oh, no. What it says at the top is the accurate one. Barnard and Abby Pulley both in the top 4 there. Bianca Bustamante in the top 10, which is, I think, maybe their first points. And I won't be surprised, only points. So Abby's 3rd. It's a tight race, actually, between Dahl, who I'm not unconvinced isn't a generated driver. Emma Mack, who definitely isn't a generated driver. Apologise to not if they are real, but just has the same quality as the generated faces, unfortunately. So there's just either a really weird photo or... Okay, so Bianca did have 3 other points from somewhere. And our reacquired Pobletti obviously still not doing that well. But Carpentier is 2nd, Bogdanovic 5th. Our drivers are in the mix in the junior competitions. But it is Hungary next where we shouldn't be as good. And in fact, yes, the suspension does come in and the research does happen on the day the new testing period opens. So that's perfected, really. But we had to really make the most of that particular race there because we've got 2 more races now. The AI will claim back on us. In fact, 3 more races because I don't think we'll get any suspensions ready until Belgium, which is a sprint race. So it'll be simulated Hungary, simulated Britain, unfortunately. And then sprint race Belgium we will do live, in which case we will have the suspension possibly, definitely for Lando, maybe for but they'll definitely be ready for the last 2 races before the summer break, which will be Holland, the Netherlands and Monza. Should be very hot versions of those 2, I imagine. Regulation vote also happens either side of the Belgian Grand Prix, so we'll include that next time out. A bit of a quick one, though, because in the rain, it was mostly a case of just catching up to them and then maybe passing them. And only Zayn actually did that in the end, and I missed 2 of them. Of Antonelli getting past him, and then him getting past Antonelli again. I kind of zoned out for a little bit in the rain, I think. My bad. But first race victory there, and does help us a lot. We do need to claw back 21 points to get 2nd. But we also have 13 races, provided Bahrain works this year. 13 races to do it. It's certainly doable. I think the title's away from us, though. Red Bull, with 2 good drivers, are running away with that. I have just noticed as well, Carlos Sainz and Piastri, same points, 9 races in. The Drivers' Championship, well and truly on. Teo Porcher, though, man. How unfortunate was that? Actually, I just want to double check. It's Fittipaldi, Hauger, and Magnussen as the only 3 pointless drivers. Dragovic has more points than Bottas this year. Bizarrely, Vesti's doing better than Hamilton last year. Vesti has a point. How's the other end of the constructors going? Williams the only pointless team. Mercedes 10 points. Alpine 21 points. Aston Martin 22. Audi 29. Tight there. Ferrari 62 points. He said Red Bull 45. Haas are 4th with exactly 100 now as well. Haas might be no man's land 4th. Still good for them though. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I figured I'd do a little bit more catching up to speed on the world of F1 and other formulas at the end of this because it wasn't a particularly long recording. So I figured there's probably a little bit of room to catch you up to speed there. Nonetheless, we will simulate 2 races next time and then do the Belgian sprint. And then the Monza sprint will be the 2nd one after that. And that's the last of the ones up to this break. But hoping in on Christmas. In fact, I think that'll be the last one before Christmas, won't it? Monza. Oh, should just say at this point, by the way, there won't be a pause. There won't be a pause for Christmas. I will just record enough ahead of time and have them ready in time. So yeah, it'll be the Monday and then the Thursday, which is Boxing Day here in the UK. So I will get them set up. There shouldn't be a break in the schedules over Christmas. So see you for the next one in Belgium. But until then, thank you for watching. Please let me know what your thoughts are on the current situation in terms of keeping things in track. We'll probably actually have a much better indication of where things are going by next time out because new ATR period, all that jazz. We'll be able to see how the other teams develop a little bit better going forward now. Now they've been hamstrung by the number of projects they can do. But thank you for joining me. Until next time. Ta-ra.